From his multiple Emmy Award-winning show, Bill Nye the Science Guy, the host of 3 television series, Science Channel's The 100 Greatest Discoveries, The Eyes of Nye, here on PBS stations around the country, and Planet Green's Stuff Happens. He's also the executive director of the Planetary Society, which creates ways for the public to have active roles in space exploration. You can find him at The Science Guy for his 2nd appearance in this very 10-S Tweetup. Please help me welcome Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages. So, Doug, astronaut, scientifically literate, you are on camera at a Tweetup. It's great to see you all. Great to see you all. You guys, we're going to Mars. 37 seconds. So I am deeply invested in this flight because, as you may know, first of all, back in the before disco, I had almost live. There's a Seattle. It's a comedy show I used to work on, but I had Carl Sagan for astronomy. You guys probably know Carl Sagan. You talk to these kids today. They've never heard of him, but that's fine. Things change. It's not great, but it's acceptable. And so then I got on the mailing list for the Planetary Society. Any Planetary Society members here? Yes! People. So, my fellow Planetary Society members, we have the 3rd Mars dial is screwed onto this thing, and it's going to be on Mars in August. We encourage you all, Sunday night, August 5th, to participate in Planet Fest. We're going to have the center will be near Jet Propulsion Lab in Pasadena, but we hope to have events around the world. We will celebrate Curiosity landing on Mars and perhaps making the next astonishing discovery about where we all came from. And are we alone? So, the idea is, as you may know, was anybody at my talk yesterday? And you're still here? Right along. We were here. Way to go. I don't believe me, right? No. So, if you don't know the story, it doesn't take too long. My dad was in prison camp in World War II. They had no or hardly ever had electricity. So he became fascinated with sundials. That's how they would reckon time. Apparently they would remind the military guards there that it was time for lunch and things like that, using reckoning the time with a shadow. So I was brought up with all this thing, and I was in a meeting with the photometric calibration target at Cornell. I didn't really know what it was. It's a stick that casts a shadow. And I kind of went crazy. We got to make that into a sundial. So there's going to be another sundial on Mars. Just to reassure you, taxpayers and voters from around the world, this was the flight spare. We were thinking it was going to go to a museum. But no, trying to save money on Curiosity. We'll just screw it on there. It's going to be fine. So it's going to Mars. It has a motto. Sundial should have a motto. To Mars to explore. It's going to be big fun. And then, Planetary Society peoples, we were all very excited. Well, of course, we're still somewhat excited. Hoping to test this crazy hypothesis. Did life start on Mars? Get knocked into space by some impactor 3 billion years ago and make its way to Earth? You and I, everybody, the grass, the insects, which there's no shortage here. We are all descendants of some Martian microbe, which would be pretty crazy. But not so crazy that it's not necessarily true. So we were going to test this with the Russian Phobos Grunt mission. Grunt. Doug, am I saying that right? That's soil in Russian. But it's stuck in orbit right now. The day before yesterday we got a little signal from it, but we're not sure we're going to be able to give it to send it the rest of the way to Mars. But that aside, this is an Atlas V, people. This is the real deal. This is heavy lift. So it's very exciting. And at the planetary side, we try to engage, we work to engage people around the world in space exploration. And I don't know you all individually, but I've got a feeling really deep down you would be proud to be wearing our brand new Space Geek buttons. Yes. Space Geek. So if you get a chance, check out planetary.org and you can sign up for your Space Geek button and participate as a fellow Space Geek. And we will seek to enrich all humankind through space exploration. So that's how we'll start. Are there any questions on what we've covered so far? I'm kidding. Are there any questions, people? Does anybody have any questions? Yes, a woman with hand up from the Sentinel, Montgomery County, Maryland.
That's right, that's right.
Maryland's in the United States, for those of you who don't know.
Yes.
So one of those queens. There's people back east someplace. Yeah.
It's not quite as warm as down here, but we can have bugs too. Anyway, I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about your early education and how your experiences in DC public schools and then at Sidwell Friends sort of influenced your views on American education. And if you could comment on the fact that a lot of these tweets, is that what we're calling you guys? Tweets?
Are we tweeters?
I'm sorry, tweets.
Are we tweet-uppers? Tweets. Of course, you're tweets. Oh, by the way, excuse me a second, Stephanie. I asked some of the powers that be what the password was. They don't know. They don't know. I got feelings.
It's long.
It's very, very long. So it's long.
Are you ready? 1 second.
Let me just get a picture. Let's get that done for crying out loud. And this is where we say no laughing, no smiling. Hey, there! There we go. Oh, by the way, the back of my phone, STS-134. My sweetheart painted a picture and gave me this for my birthday. Yes, Space Geek. Yes. Yes, so Stephanie, you asked me a question.
Yes, Helen.
Helen, that's why I was Stephanie's shorthand for Helen. Stephanie is our NASA, excuse me, I went dyslexic on you.
I'll take
yes.
the promotion.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of these tweets have been getting tweeted by their students to ask questions here, and I wanted to know what you thought of the sort of the impact social media is having on the modern classroom.
Well, on the modern classroom, I hope, like everything else, is, dare I say it, changing the world. So, what I remind you all, and you've heard the story, when I was young, we had to look things up in a book. And in space exploration, by the time you look it up, it's sort of gone. Why? There's 5 moons of Jupiter? Wait, there's 75 moons of Jupiter, yeah. So, the wonderful thing, what you have to learn, in my opinion, we have to show kids, students, that you'll get more information of lower quality. So then you have more information, but it's lower quality information. So you have to learn to deal with that, which I think is really a fantastic thing for science educators, because you have to incorporate critical thinking into all of your research, into everything that the man tries to tell you. That you learn, I hope you learn not to take everybody's word for everything. On the other hand, when you find a preponderance of evidence, like how many people are going to lie about the atomic number of beryllium? I guess a few people. I'm going to fool those kids. Say it's 54. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. That'll test them. So, but when you get 10 kids that have the atomic number of beryllium wrong, you can suspect they were all going to the wrong bad source. So, it's a wonderful thing. The big thing I used to spend, I'm sure you all did, spend enormous amounts of time doing research on facts that are now just accessible, if I may, literally at your fingertips. So, I'll be sitting at my desk. We used to have a saying on the Bill Nye Show, the party doesn't start till Bill gets out the dictionary. Because I'm very enchanted by words and so on. And nowadays, I'll have a dictionary on my desk. I won't even reach for the book. Just don't even reach for it, because I got 14 dictionaries online. And so this, I believe, the ability to share information quickly will allow people who are in school today to, dare I say it, change the world. And they need to, because people of our generation have left the world headed for climate change, and everything's going to, not clear that these seawalls are going to be enough in the future, with the next 60 years or so, with climate change. So we're going to need people to think in new ways, to find new sources of energy, new ways to move it around, and ways to do more with less. And all that's going to take information that we can share. So to all teachers, I say encourage the use of the internet and encourage critical thinking and evaluating the information you found on there. Bill, is it true that you hate kids? No. Well, I read it on the internet. It's not true. So, okay. Now what? That's why I did a kid show. Oh, that's right, that was you. Yeah. So, anyway, the reason I did a kid show, I wanted to affect the future. I wanted to get young people excited about science, so in the future we'll have more scientists, especially more girls or women in science, so that we have better science and a better future for all humankind. So, that was the first question, Helen. There was a follow-up.
Well, you sort of did both, but
oh, lucky you.
Yeah. So does anyone in the Tweetup crowd have a question?
Yeah. No, I stumped them.
They're just so awed by you, they can't think of what they meant to ask you
for the
earlier.
U.S. What do they care? This was a TV show in the United States. You can imagine.
First of all, thank you for changing my daughter's lives, and by extension, my grandchildren's lives.
Right on. How old are your daughters?
My daughters are 33 and 30.
Oh, yeah.
And we have 6 grandchildren.
Way to go, dude. Passing genes in the future. Evolution. Yes.
For any, my one daughter's a biochemist, probably because of your influence.
That's so cool.
And for my grandchildren, if they want to be into planetary science, planetary exploration, what aside from school classes and things like that, where would be their best resources, you think, to be?
How old are these people now, the grandkids?
9 and 7.
From 9 down to 3.
Okay, let's talk again briefly about me. So, I have been associated with something called Exploravision for 11 years, and this is Toshiba. Toshiba USA has the same problem NASA has, same problem Boeing has, same problem. By the way, the Air Force has this problem in space. We need people in engineering school to take jobs when they're graduated, so that a company like Toshiba can stay in business, NASA can stay in business, the Air Force can stay in business, U.S. Air Force. And so you need people graduating from high school to go engineering school and so on. So this competition is sponsored by the National Science Teachers Association, and it's funded, NSTA rocks, and it's funded by Toshiba USA. And this is because this Toshiba guys, they're almost, at least 11 or 20 years ago, they were all men, but they really believed in the future of science and so on. What's happening? NASA television? What did I do? 2 hours. We're on a hold, a 2-hour hold.
The screen over here.
Anyway, so here's the thing. Okay. So, when we think of scholarship programs by National Science Teacher Association, many people think of high school in the U.S. or 11th, 12th form like that. But this is a scholarship that has high school things, but it starts in kindergarten. There's scholarships for kindergartners, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and then high school. And the idea is you have to come up, you and your team of fellow students, you're a kid, have to come up with an invention you think will come into existence in 20 years. And you have to do research and show the materials to be made of and how they work and so on. It's a very cool thing. You get usually a Toshiba laptop if you win, and
2.5 hours.
money for a college. So it's a cool competition. So if you're asking, why did they do that? So the Planetary Society is now doing Bill Nye videos funded by Toshiba. They'll be on the first one's about multi-layer insulation. How when you don't have any air in space, how do you keep a spacecraft warm or cool? And the second one's about exoplanets. and the wobbling of the star. And yes, we got me and a hula dancer doing the hula with styrofoam stars. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh. So that should, if nothing don't happen, and the man approves it, it will start airing cabling, what do you call it, tweeting, internet, Thursday, December 8th, if nothing don't happen. But that may slip because they'll decide to have it timed with these other scholarship events.